Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Wilder versus Ortiz media conference call. Your host for today, Lou DiBella, will begin.
Thanks for joining us, everybody, for the call for Showtime Championship Boxing's triple header presented by Premier Boxing Champions, featuring the heavyweight championship of the world, Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz, at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, Saturday night, March 3rd, 2018. Tickets are on sale for the live event. Ticketmaster.com, Ticketmaster, the Barclays Center box office, barclayscenter.com, or by calling 800-745-3000. It's been a great start of the year already for Showtime Boxing. It's been a great start of the year for Stephen Espinoza, who was recently promoted deservingly to President of Sports and Events Programming for Showtime Networks. Stephen's instrumental on Deontay Wilder having a home at Showtime, and was instrumental in creating this tremendous triple header for the fans on March 3rd. So it's my pleasure to introduce Steve Espinoza.
Thanks very much, Lou. And as good as a main event this is, and we're very excited about it, I'm remiss if I let that overshadow the two other fights that are on the card that are high-quality fights as well. It's sort of a cliche, but here it's entirely deserved. These are three fights, each of which could have been a main event in their own right. Andre Durrell and Jose Uzcategui. This is a rematch of a really good fight that was a little bit overshadowed by a controversial, unfortunate event that happened afterward. The fight itself was a Fight of the Year candidate. Jamal Charlo, Hugo Centeno, two young guys in the primes of their career, with only one loss between them. That's an interim title fight as well. And then, the big one, Wilder versus Ortiz. When we announced our first half of the year schedule, which was a loaded schedule, 11 different events, 13 world title fights, I think this fight, Wilder versus Ortiz, was really the marquee matchup, not just because of the heavyweights, but because it's such a well-matched fight. Deontay is making his seventh and arguably most difficult defense of his WBC Heavyweight title. It is the closest betting odds for a Wilder fight since he won the title in January of 2015. And deservedly so, Luis Ortiz is probably the division's most avoided fighter, a great power puncher, a lefty, very skilled boxer, and a matchup of two of the four top heavyweights in the world. And in fact, in March, we will be featuring all four of the top four heavyweights in the world and all four of the major world titles. Wilder Ortiz on March 3rd, bookended later by Joshua versus Parker on March 31st. Between those two fights, as I said, we will be featuring all four of the best heavyweights in the world, all four world championships, and a combined record among those four fighters of 111 wins, 0 losses, 100 knockouts. Between the two of these guys who will be in our main event by itself, we have 67 total fights, with 62 of those ending in knockout. So a thrilling schedule for the first half of the year, a great slate of two heavyweight title fights, and I think the marquee matchup of the first half of the year, the fight everyone's looking forward to, Wilder versus Ortiz. Lou?
Thank you so much, Steve. And Stephen Espinoza really has put together an incredible slate that's already been announced of fights really that it's unprecedented to have this type of schedule out there this far in advance with fans getting consistent product like this. Not to belabor a point, but I read a comment that on my Twitter feed from a fan saying that this fight card would be pay-per-view worthy. Well, I guess that's a compliment, but I think it's a bigger compliment to the people at Showtime that this is a live triple header on premium cable. This is an opportunity for people to subscribe to the best premium cable network for boxing out there if they don't do so already, and to get a card featuring a highly competitive, terrific heavyweight title matchup with two other great fights. So we're going to move on to the fighters now, but this really is a special night of boxing on March 3rd. Everyone who can get to Brooklyn should be at the Barclays Center for it, but if not, you have the opportunity to see this on Showtime. Louis King Kong Ortiz, 28-0, 24 KOs, from out of Miami, Florida now, by way of Camagüey, Cuba. He won numerous titles, every pretty much Latin-related title you could win on his way up the world rankings. He was 343-19 as an amateur, 343-19. That makes him one of the greatest amateur heavyweight fighters in the history of boxing. He's a big guy. He's a left-hander. He's a power-punching left-hander. And through the goodness and the desire of the heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay Wilder, to prove himself to be the best, Luis Ortiz, King Kong Ortiz, will get a chance on March 3rd to change the lives not only of his family but of his grandkids and generations to come. An opportunity to dethrone the heavyweight champion if he can do it, and another opportunity after some other possible opportunities that fell through. He's getting this chance yet again. So he's coming into this fight with these stellar credentials, with all this ability, and with nothing to lose. He'll be his manager, Jay Jimenez, will do the translating for him. But believe me, I'm sure that King Kong has a lot to say. Luis King Kong Ortiz. Jay?
Yes.
Does Luis want to say a few words to everybody? How's his preparation going for the fight? What is he thinking right now?
Okay. Okay. Luis has no comments. As far as the preparation, he's ready to go. We're ready to go this week if we have to. As far as for the fight and for Wilder, he has no comments for him.
All right, well, I'll then turn to the heavyweight champion of the world. When he knocked out Bermane Stiverne in their rematch on November 4th, it allows him to now say that he's knocked out every man he's faced as a professional. This is a step toward proving that he's the best and a step toward the eventual unification of the heavyweight titles if he can get past his toughest test to date. So, Deontay, would you like to say a couple of words?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. And, a beautiful day is beautiful as mine. I just had a scrumptious meal with some sweet tea. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling get ready to go spar and get this last week over with. And March the 3rd, I'm coming to whoop Luis Ortiz's ass. But I'm excited for this fight, guys. I am so excited for this fight. I'm glad that it's finally here. One more week. Next weekend. All the talking. All the talking, all the anticipation for this fight, all the hype, all that's going to come into play next week, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being in one of my biggest, one of my toughest fights to date, and we're going to see what happens. I'm feeling great. Camp has been going great. This is what I've been waiting on, to prove to the world what I've been saying all along, that I am the best heavyweight champion in this era. In this era, I am the best heavyweight champion. Period. And I'm willing to prove. I'm willing to prove that not only to Luis Ortiz but to the world. I think Luis Ortiz is a great fighter, and I think this is the biggest fight that could be made at this point in time in boxing. He's been waiting a very long time, and here I come Luis Ortiz might well call me his angel because I came along, I've taken him under my wings, I've blessed him not only once but twice, and I keep saying that enough. I say that so much for the simple fact I want people to get it in their mind that I could have ran from this fight. I could have chose any opponent that I wanted to fight on March the 3rd. Especially when all that other stuff went about. I could have easily went somewhere else, but no. I'm adamant about what I say. I'm confident about what I'm going to do, and I'm ready to prove to the world. So I got the perfect opponent. It's the perfect time. It's the perfect place. Somebody old got to go. And y'all already know what I come to do. I talk my talk to walk my walk. It's going to be up to Luis Ortiz to prove me wrong. Hey, he got an opportunity to be the first Cuban heavyweight champion of the world. It sounds good. But he got a big task in front of him. He dealing with a monster. He dealing with a guy with a killer instinct. He dealing with a guy that ain't afraid of not one human being on earth, especially when you get in that jungle. And I am the king of the jungle. I am the lion of the jungle. He's never faced nobody with the pedigree, with the killer instinct that I have inside of me. He never faced a guy that wanted to knock his head off so clean off his shoulder. He never been in there with a guy that won't back down, won't budge. I can't wait. I hope he's sleeping good, too. I hope you're getting all your minerals, your protein, and you're taking your blood pressure pills faithfully. Because March the 3rd is going to be a real fight. I'd like to welcome you to the real sport of boxing.
Thanks, champ. I'm going to open up the questions because Deontay's got to get to sparring right after this. On that note, guys, if you could limit your secondary and backup questions, that'd be appreciated. We'll give everybody a chance, and we'll turn it over to questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. Our first question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, Deontay, Luis. Deontay, my question for you is, you mentioned just now, you said you hope that Luis has taken his blood pressure pills. I've wondered, how is it for you to think and to focus so hard on this fight, knowing that because you've had 3 other fights, to my count, that have fallen out because of bad drug tests, that, with a week to go, anything can happen? Do you allow yourself to think of that as a possibility?
No, not at all. A possibility of may do something else illegal, or what?
Just that because there's still a week to go, that that could potentially mess up the fight again.
Yeah, that could happen. That's a possibility. We always say, just like a cheater. Once a cheat, always a cheat, and that always carry with him. But that's going to be up to Luis Ortiz. I think Luis Ortiz is a smart guy, and I think he's going to do the right thing up to this point. If he don't, like I said, it'll be shame on him to put people through so much frustration, so much pain, so much, like it was the first time, and it's ridiculous that we have to be talking about this still at this point in time, with drugs and cheating and stuff, but I think he's going to do the right thing. And so with that being said, I'm not worried about it. I have confidence in him that he's going to turn up clean, and he's going to give a great performance on that night of that fight, and we're all going to be winners at the end of the night.
One other question for you then. I know that you and your girlfriend just recently welcomed your daughter into the world recently. I'm wondering, has it all been complicated for you to, I know you're very focused on the fight, but you also have this major life event happening. How hard is it to have that take place so close to the fight and to keep your focus on your job, which is to go into fight against Luis Ortiz next week?
Well, boxing comes first. This is my life. This is my career that we're talking about. This is how I support and feed my family. So nothing come above this. So when coming into that environment, I made it perfectly clear that boxing was first, and boxing will last. Now we have some in the middle that we can feel, well, then we can do so. So he was very they was very cooperative of what I request and what I wanted to happen, and they fulfilled the obligations with me, and I did so with them. It was a fun interaction, both sides around. So my focus is solid on Luis Ortiz. I don't want people to mistake me from doing reality shows or traveling this place or that place. One thing about Deontay Wilder, when his mind set on something, when he's focused on it, no matter what the distractions outside brings. I know what I have to do inside of the ring.
All right, very good. I have a question for Luis. Jay, if you could, are you there, Jay?
Hello?
Jay?
Yeah.
Could you ask Luis? We all know what happened with the fight in November. Can you just get his take on, I guess, being relieved that everything worked out for him with the WBC and that they allowed.
Who's this? This is Dan Rafael.
Yes, sir.
We got nothing to answer for you, man. Every time you put an article out, you call Ortiz a drug cheat, and we got nothing to answer for you, bro. We failed one drug test, and it was 23 days that they told us after the Coyote fight, and we took Luis to test, and he was clean. And we took endocrinologists, we took a bunch of proof that no nandrolone gets out of your system in 21 days. So
well, if you don't want to answer any questions, that's your prerogative. But
no, Luis got nothing to say to you. This time it was a high blood pressure medication, and every time you answer something, you say, "Oh, he's cheating." I mean, you gotta give credit. So we're glad for Wilder.
Okay.
We praise Wilder that he took the fight.
Our next question is going to come from Carlos Maxwell from Telemundo, Miami. Please go ahead.
Hello, a question for Luis Ortiz, if he can answer in Spanish for us, please. How did he prepare for the fight? And the message also for the people in Miami that will be watching this fight very closely, please.
¿Cómo te preparaste para la pelea? Y un mensaje para la gente de Miami, ¿cómo te sientes la pelea? You heard him?
No, we don't hear him. No lo oímos. No.
Que he's ready, que está bien preparado para la pelea. Está agradecido que tiene esta pelea y a la gente de Miami y toda la gente que lo apoyan, que marzo 3 va a haber un campeón nuevo de WBC.
Thank you, gracias.
Es que estamos en el gimnasio y entro para afuera, hay que estar parado afuera por la puerta.
Tranquilo. Thank you very much. Gracias.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Our next question is going to come from John Cutney from the Reddit Boxing. Please go ahead. Mr. Cutney, your line is live.
Hi, Deontay.
Hello.
Thanks for your time today. So, question is, leading up to the promotion for what was originally supposed to be the first Ortiz fight, became the Stubborn fight, you were extremely emotional. You seem to bring a lot of that emotion into the fight. Conventional wisdom would be that an emotional fighter is prone to make mistakes, maybe sloppy. Fighters try to keep emotion out of it. You seem to really channel it to your benefit, absolutely blew Stubborn out of there. Just wondering if you can talk about your mental preparation, if you view that as a strength to try to get really, riled up, and how you prepare for fights mentally, and how you think that helps or hurts you.
I think boxing for me, is 90% mental than the rest, or 96. I'm saying 96 for it whatever their preference of it, but it's majority it's majority mental for me than physical. That's why I'm able to speak and say what I'm going to do, and actually deliver that, because I believe in myself. I believe what I say. I believe in what I say I'm going to do. I don't play around. That's the thing about it. And it all comes from my mental standpoint, my mental game. Mentally, emotionally, physically, I'm ready for this fight. Like I said, I've fought this fight 100 times. And the thing about this fight, out of the 100 times I've fought this fight, most things were similar, but the only thing that was different out of the 100 times I've fought the fight the ending did end it in different ways, different knockouts, because I will knock them out. It ain't gonna be a matter of time. When is gonna be a matter of time, or how when it lands and the fashion I do it in. So mental plays a big part in what I do. That's why I'm able to boldly speak how I speak, because a lot of guys they ain't confident in themselves. They won't dare speak and say how I speak. You know, they won't dare to do it because they don't know what the outcome is going to be on that night of that fight. But with me, I know what it's going to be because it's up to me. It's not up to the crowd. It's not up to my trainers. It's not up to nobody but myself in that ring. And we all know that when Deontay Wilder get under those lights, those cameras, I perform my best. I'm an entertainer. So I can't wait, you know.
Good. Thanks a lot, Deontay.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Salvador Rodriguez from ESPN Deportes. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I want a couple of questions for Luis Ortiz. First of all, what about his feelings when everybody says that we want to see Wilder versus Joshua? He can explain us what about his feelings when everybody say that, please.
The question is to Luis?
Yeah. What about his feelings? What he feels when anybody says that they want to see Joshua versus Wilder?
¿Qué opina cuando la gente te dicen que de Joshua y Wilder que no la pelea y tú están en medio? He says he has no feelings that ain't gonna happen. That fight is not gonna happen.
And if he feels any kind of hate with Wilder, saying that things with the knockout, with the being the king of the jungle.
No. Every fighter that loses says that. Brandon Rios just said it the other day, and talking against Danny Garcia, and look what happened. So Lewis, that doesn't bother Lewis. He can talk all he wants. He's trying to convince himself. Lewis says he's trying to convince himself.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Our next question is going to come from Carlos Toro from Fightful. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, guys. I'm sorry. Got one question for Deontay Wilder and for Luis Wilder. A few months ago, when we did a call for the
Mr. Toro, I do apologize, Mr. Toro, but your phone is breaking up a little bit. Is there any kind of way you can? Your phone was breaking up. Can you repeat that, please, Mr. Toro?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So first question for Deontay, I just wanted to ask. Back in the conference call for the Bermain-Stavern rematch, you said that it feels like I'm better off not being in this sport than being in it. I don't understand it when it comes to all the failed drug tests your opponents have had in the past couple of fights. Do you still feel that way?
Sometimes I still feel that way, you know, but also I have to face reality as well, too, that these guys is going to do it. They're going to do it, and these organizations makes it worse because they allow them to do it because they bring them back in without suffering no type of consequences behind their action. And, you know, but time I say that I'm a killer man in the ring, everybody want to feel some type of way. But what the fuck they doing when they taking these medicines? What the fuck they doing when they taking these PEDs? That's what they trying to do. So people can't have a certain type of feeling when I say what I want to do, and these guys are taking these drugs to do the same thing. Everybody want to come up. I understand. Everybody want to feed their family. I understand. But how can you say you a man when you take PEDs, when you cheat, when you try to do things to give you that advantage, to try to get on top of the game? It don't work that way. So many champions have done it as well, too. The thing about it, we don't know how many times these guys do it. You know, we just know the number of times that they got caught. when a person do it, their intention is not to get caught. The intention is to do it without getting caught. We try to be as smart as we can not to get caught, and that's a problem. I couldn't even be a man. I couldn't even be a man and sit up here and allow nobody to put something in my mouth or stick needles in my arm or in my ass or whatever it goes. I couldn't be a man and say that, and I win a title or something and say I did it, because no, you didn't. You didn't do nothing. You cheated, and that's bottom line. No matter how, man, it's a touchy subject, because I've been a clean fighter all my life. I never even thought about even taking no drug to put in my body to make my body do something that it's not normally supposed to do. I'm a clean fighter. I'm a fair fighter. I bring what I bring, and I give you results. I say what I'm going to do, and I deliver. I give you results. I'm very confident in what I say, no matter what nobody may feel or what may say, how I'm promoting this fight or hyping it up or believing my own hype or trying to build my confidence up. No, I don't have to build nothing up, because it's already there. I've showed you 39 times, 39 knockouts. This is about to be my 40th fight with 39 KOs. Yeah, he may have an amateur background, but that's amateur. This is the pros, and in the pros, I'm more experienced. I'm a knockout artist. That's what I come to do, and that's what I will do. I promise you that. I promise. I promise. I promise.
Yeah.
Our next question is going to come from Eddie Goldman from No Holds Bar. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. First question for Luis. Is Deontay the toughest fighter that you've faced, and do you have a prediction for this fight?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And do you have a prediction for the fight?
It's going to be a hell of a fight, and somebody's going to hit the canvas. Wilder keeps hyping himself and trying to believe in himself. It's going to be a bad night for him. Talking about PEDs. Lewis has took 7 tests in a month and a week. 7 blood and urine tests for VADA and the New York Commission. What I want to know is, what did Wilder do during himself this hole? Because
who's been your toughest fight? I'd love to know that.
Jennings was the toughest fight Lewis ever had.
Oh, Lord. You can say that now because you ain't facing me.
My brother,
I'll give you that.
You're in for a hell of a problem, March.
That's good, then. I'm glad. I hope y'all been training.
I don't know what you're going to say to the public.
I hope you've been training well.
The guy that you keep putting down, you need somebody to help you, because
I don't put nobody down. I say facts.
That's old and use PED.
Facts. Why you getting so mad if it's not true?
But if he beats you, what are you going to do?
That's the thing about it. You say if. I don't say if. I don't say hope. I don't say when. I say I am. I say I am. I say I am.
Do what he told you.
I don't second judge myself. I tell you what I'm gonna do. When that fight comes, I deliver. That's the difference about me. I'm a real one, and if y'all understand a real one, what's understood can't be explained. It's a different fighter. I'm a different mentality. I'm a different beast.
Mr. Wilder?
I'm a real person in the room.
You're so short.
Our next question is going to come from Greg Leon from Boxing Talk.
My brother, every time you get a question,
go ahead, Greg.
Nobody ever
You can't fight for him, so shut up and answer the question when they ask you. You can't fight for him. You ain't gonna get in that ring when he land on his back. What you gonna be doing? You gonna get in there? But if you do, I'll knock your ass out too. You ain't gonna get in there and help him. So your talk is slim. Your talk going out of one ear and out the other, son. You can't fight for him. You can't speak for him.
Our last question is going to come from Greg Leon from Boxing Talk. Please go ahead, Mr. Leon.
What's up, Deontay? What's good?
I'm good, baby. How about yourself?
All right. The last time you fought a southpaw was Spilka. You struggled a bit. How have you improved since that fight? And are there any tactics you plan on using differently when facing a southpaw this time around?
Man, my camp has been great. I've had a lot of great sparring partners. I've even had sparring partners that have whooped his sparring partner's ass. So, that explains a lot. It's going to be a great fight. I can't wait, you know what I mean? Southpaw with Spilka. Spilka was a very awkward fighter, just as myself. So when you get two awkward fighters in there, it turns out to be like that until when I figure, see, I adapt to every fighter. I figure every fighter out. No matter how long it takes, I'll figure you out. It's a 12-round fight. People got to understand. People want me to be so perfect. They want me to win all the rounds. They want me to look good doing it, and they want the knockout. They expect so much of me, but it's okay, you know, because I always deliver what I say I'm going to do. That's the thing about me. I'm a man of my word. And I have a lot of credit for being a man of my word worldwide, you know, not just the belief part in it, you know. So with this southpaw, I can't wait. He's not as awkward as Spuka, you know. It's a lot of things that he do wrong. There's a lot of mistakes that he's making in the ring, and it's due to his long-stinted amateur experience, you know. And that's gonna be a bad thing for him when you come in the professional rankings. So the fight is going to be good as it lasts. You know, I like I said, I can't wait. They never had nobody in front of them that want to just knock his head off like I want to do. They never had a guy in there so vicious, so mean as me, you know, and it's so real. There's nothing that I have to pretend to be. It's nothing that I have to make myself think of this person that I'm not. I am who I am.
What do you think of Ortiz's level of opposition to this point?
I'll let you be the judge of that. Ortiz ain't never faced nobody with my caliber. Ortiz ain't never faced nobody with the intensity, with the mindset that I have. Like I said, with the natural killer instinct that I have. Those guys Ortiz have faced already have saw their place on the ground. You know, they already go off of they built on the hype of this Cuban background and flawless skills. All that shit goes out the window when you get in the ring with a real one. I don't care about all that. That ain't nothing. Nothing that man's going to be able to touch me with is going to hurt me. I'm going to walk through all that. I'm telling you, that's nothing. I've seen this style many times. You know, coming up in the amateurs. I've been, you know, I got a lot of Cuban friends. I know this style. Trust me. And I can't wait. That's why I do my talking. I talk my talk. So I can walk my talk. And anybody else on the outside of the ring can't talk their talk because they're not going to be able to walk that green mile. You're not going. His trainers, his trainers, his people around is not going to be able to walk the green mile. Luis Ortiz is going to be the only person that's going to be able to have to suffer the consequences. And the more they talk, the more punishment that's come on him. It's just like if I got one of them in the chokehold and the other one hitting me. So if I can't get to you, I'm going to choke the shit out of him because you hitting me. And the more pressure and the damage you do to me, that's what I do to him. So the talking keep going. It intensifies my anticipation of knocking his head off. Keep talking.
Well, guys, Deontay's going to go do some talking in the ring because he's got to go spar right now. So I know JD's in the background wanting this call to end, which it's going to. Jay Jimenez, thank you, and Luis Ortiz for being on the call. Jay, Luis is going to get an opportunity to do all his talking on March 3rd. We're close to fight week.
That goes on for hours, Lou. Luis hasn't said anything. He didn't even have a comment. It's your
That's good. That means he's focused. That means he's focused. You should be too. Because you can't fight for him. You gonna run your mouth. Run your mouth, but you can't fight for him. You can only make it worse for him.
March 3rd at Barclays Center. We're going to close it out the old-fashioned way while people are talking.
This is easy, Wally.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Jay. Thank you,
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. I'll disconnect and have a good day.
You got more confidence than he do. You talking like you from the fight.